Yes, 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 yes. Y'all know what time it is. It is going down. Clayton Guillory,
Yep.
Jonah Woolard. We've been waiting all preseason for this night. No, hey, let's start out with full disclosure, Clay. If you ain't been outside, tune off now. This ain't gonna be your night. So look,
You
Clay.
already know, man. You already know.
So first weekend, you get to actually kick back after being on the road since July, man. We seen a lot of football. We watched from our events, other events, really kind of just brought a lot of youth football in. What would you say, which is different from this year that you've seen from years before, that just kind of maybe caught you off guard? And what teams that really kind of surprised you? Like, man, where did they come from?
Listen, man, we've done some traveling. We started in Charlotte, then we came down to Houston, went over to Virginia, and I've seen some good football this preseason. I can't even count. I even have to take in consideration, going up to Dallas to the West Memorial event here in San Antonio at the Ricky Sanchez. Like, I've seen some really, really good football. It's a couple teams that have surprised me. Right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, I knew Red Breeze was gonna be good. I didn't think they was gonna be that good. Right? How good they are this fast has really surprised me. I was very impressed by City Life's 12U this past weekend, man.
Yeah,
And by seeing how good they look, it gave me a little hope that there might be some competition at the 12U level, because for a while it looked like a one-team race, which is Red Breed. Um, Georgia Elite on 6U and 7U have been very impressive, right? Atlanta Elite on multiple age groups. Whether if you're talking about they 6U, they 7U, they 8U, of course, Voodoo at 9U. Atlanta Elite is looking really good.
yeah,
Couple teams have really, really surprised me. I was surprised by the Indy Firehawks. I was surprised by Legacy U Hurricanes,
yeah.
Upstate Titans. Man, a lot of teams have surprised me, but the biggest surprise is what I've watched the team do after they've taken a loss. I watched the team go up to Charlotte and challenge the number one team in the country, Lambeau,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
get beat 40-28. And instead of the team breaking up, instead of people saying they are ready to go to a different path, a different platform,
yeah,
I
yeah.
watched those people go back and retool with a semi-merge so they can compete come December. And the reason that kind of surprised me a little bit, Joan, is because in this day and age, when you put a team together and they don't perform right off out the gate like you want them to,
What?
people ready to
Yeah,
abandon ship, bro.
it's a short
They're ready
line.
to. Hey, listen here. Let me save this registration money. I'm gonna go to a different organization. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy preseason because I think this is the first preseason I've seen in a long time where the preseason games have mattered so much to people.
So much.
So much. I'm watching people lose a preseason game, and you would think they are in the national championship and their season is over with. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's
You're
crazy.
right. So that's some teams that surprise you. What teams do you feel from last year to this year actually kind of fell off? Like, damn, what happened with them?
Man, the fell off.
What was your reaction
I
to?
can tell you one team that that
Yeah,
that I feel like, so they're not a bad team. I still think they one of the
yeah,
top teams in the country, but I really felt like they were going to be better. TNS 11U. I
yeah.
felt like they were going to be better, and I watched RCU dismantle them in Houston. After RCU had just got dismantled by Lambeau in Charlotte the week prior, right? Um, I was surprised on how good Ginn Elite looked against Maryland Heat on 14U, and Maryland Heat on 14U is every year always a top 14. Tell
Right.
me that didn't surprise you to see Maryland Heat not look like a top 4 team, Jonah.
They didn't look like the Maryland Heat product that we used to seeing. We used to seeing big physical line play. We used to seeing big backs, break plays. It was a subpar performance at most, from that Maryland Heat 14 team, and we watched it in person. We was on the sideline, Clay. So it's not like we watch highlights because highlights will paint a different picture. We watch play for play, body language. Well, how do you respond after you get scored on? And it didn't look like the Maryland Heat. But for me, Clay, I want to say, man, uh, a team in Texas, DEA,
Pac Prime. You're going to
13.
say Pac Prime, aren't you? You're going
I
to say
got
Pac
two.
Prime.
I have Pac Prime that did not look like the Pac Prime I'm used to seeing.
No.
And
No, they
then
didn't.
you see now, and I won't say the kids are catching up with Aiden because he's still a big running back. But when Aiden doesn't have those other parts to help him out, now the whole team is able just to focus on him. So Pac Prime did not look like themselves, man. And so you go from being the number 2 team in the nation, that man, I don't know where they really fit in right now, Clay, from what we saw them in person. We cannot, one thing you and I and the rankings committee can't have is affection towards a team just because of last year's rankings. We have to judge it from what we've seen right now. And I don't really know where they fit in right now as of tonight, And then another team, I'm so used to DEA being very dominant. When I
Yes.
watched them in the
Yes.
national championships, the kids went viral. Nobody could get the ball off. You and I, again, we're on the sidelines, Clay. They put a dominant performance on at the 12 and under last year, which means those are the 13 and under players this year. Man, again, where do they fit in tonight's rankings that, when we're introducing that, if, put it this way, if it's YNC tomorrow and we're kicking off and it's time for the invites to go out, these were the teams that will be, getting the invites. So we know it's a long season. We don't get carried away with it, but it does kind of set the bar of where these teams have been performing this year. We did not take last year into consideration at all because you got to go out there and earn it. So again, Clay, as we get into these rankings, we went to a top 10 for our first week because what we want to do is make sure the rankings are from football that we're watching. Not football that we guessing. Not football that, hey, man, we know what they did last year. If them boys jump out, if you ain't come outside, don't expect your name to be on anything tonight. It's just keeping it 100. We put those disclosures out all preseason. We warned you. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, Clay, not everybody can travel. But, man, play some football. You had a couple series. You had to make some teams play each other when we went to Houston.
Had to. And we're talking about teams that's right around the corner from each other. We're talking about teams that share the same park at practice. They refuse to play each other. And I just don't understand that. Now, I'm going to tell you what else is about to go down after we drop these rankings, Jonah. You're going to have some people that have a ranking that they like, and they finna change their whole schedule. They finna duck away from the smoke. They finna try to hide under this ranking. They not gonna be on social media. They gonna try to say, hey, maybe if I don't type a comment, nobody will notice that I ain't played nobody since the preseason, and I can sneak into the YNC. It's not happening like that. It's not happening
No,
like that.
sir.
Not at all. And it happens every year. And Jonah
yeah.
and I, we got to take some ownership in this. You and I have
Yeah.
to do a better job of calling that shit out this year. We do.
Oh, yeah.
We do. We do. We
Well,
have
you
to
know
do a better
what?
job of calling that out. Now, with that being said, man,
Yeah.
y'all got to understand, just because you think somebody hiding, don't necessarily mean that they hiding. But between myself and Jonah, I think we know enough people we can call and message to really get the skinny on what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
You will be exposed. It's simple. We got the platform. You'll be out here. You'll be the first one. Then we put your logo on the screen with a little circle through it. Y'all saw what happened to Vern when Vern got carried away. Don't be that Vern.
Why you do
Don't
my
be
man
that
Vern
Vern.
like that, man?
Man, don't be that Vern. Well, Clay, if I'm a team and I haven't been in the YNC before, I just heard about it. I see the social media vibe. I see the posts on Battle, posts on Youth National Playoffs, posts on Generation X, posts on Under the Radar, uh, posts on AMP quality, aerial views. And I never experienced it, and I saw last year's little spinning vibe, a couple little rings last year. And my eyes are kind of set on, that old spinning vibe, with the little YNC spin around, the old ring.
You talk about
Man,
this one right here, Jonah.
hold on. We got some
The
good
old one, the
news and
old
we
one,
got
the
some
old one.
bad news for you,
You talk
right?
about the old one, this one.
That's what I'm talking
The
about.
one, the one,
So
the
here's the
one that they
good
sent to their
news.
jeweler to copy how it spins.
Right,
That one.
right. The Swagless Monkey Award when they just won a copy, right? So
Yeah.
the good news is that, YNC still gonna give you a vibe. The bad news, you can't get that anymore. You see what Clay showing you? That's done. That's the one and done. One and done.
You can get it
That
from
goes in the
somebody else if they
memorabilia.
copied it.
If you did 2022, you got one. 2023, sorry, too late. But here's the good news out of it now. Man, Clay, I'm gonna let you go ahead
Hold
and
on,
ride
Jonah.
out, fam.
Hold on, Jonah. So listen, guys, we got an announcement to make. But before
Woo.
we get to the actual showing of the announcement, we're gonna do some house cleaning, man. AG, can you put up the flyer with the cutoff date to make sure that people understand where they got to have their rosters in now that preseason is officially
Yes.
over? Let's talk about that first before we get the bling blinging, boys, Jonah.
Some house cleaning.
But
Get the
I'm gonna tell
brooms
you,
out. Get the
this December in South Florida. Remember, our national championship is going to be December 4th through the 10th. This is what you have to remember. All rosters must be submitted by 12 a.m. in the morning on September 1st into the Zort system. This means the entire roster of your team plus the 10 sideline personnel that you're going to have, right? All sideline personnel must be approved by Zorts to be a part of the YNC. All players must have an eligible Zorts player card unless you are in a specific state that by law will not allow you to get to get that card. And remember, the age cutoff date is July 1st, 2023. It's the age of the player on that date, unless you are in the league. The second rule of our bylaws state that if you are in the league, you must go off your league cutoff date. As you can see down there, submit your roster to zorts.com backslash league backslash app backslash 14052. That is the link to go ahead and submit your roster into the system. So we're not using no emails no more. People try to throw slugs about rosters can be manipulated and this and that. Not no more. You locked in at Zorts. Don't call me. Don't call Zorts. When it hits 12 a.m. September 1st, whatever you got in the system is what you have to use for the rest of the season and at Nationals. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's the information. All 783 viewers on here can see it. Boom, just like that.
Absolutely. So, Clay, you have a lot of people that says, and I'm just, since we're doing house cleaning, that you can add players all throughout the season. That you can add players right before you come to YNC. That you can add players in November, December. Let's clear that up 100% right now in regards to adding to rosters and what happens.
Listen, after September 1st at 12 a.m., no more players can be added to the roster. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It don't matter if somebody legitimately moved. It doesn't matter if somebody was in foster care. I mean, we get hit with all these different, very dramatic scenarios. September 1st, 12 a.m. in the morning, that roster is locked. I get it. Oh, my team mom forgot to add this player, or all the parent didn't get in time. Hey, sorry, so sad. That's it. We are
Yeah.
not adding anybody else. This is what we rocking with. Hey, that player won't be able to participate. Just that plain and simple.
And another thing that we should just clear up: dual rosters. Got a player that wants to play, you know, Friday night with the Firehawks and wants to play with the Raptors on Saturday. Two youth football programs. What do we have with that? So just so we can clear the air.
So let me clear it up for everybody, man. There is no dual certification allowed in the youth national championship. What that means is that no player can play for two youth organizations at the same time. The only two teams they can play for is their youth organization and if they play for the actual school that they attend. They can't play for another park. They can't play in a rec league. They can't play in an intramural league. Nothing, no shape, form, or fashion. If you play for Lambeau, Lambeau is the only team that you can play for during the regular season. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Second part to it is a lot of people ask about, with 13 and 14U, how does that rule work? Listen, if a 13 or 14U player is an eighth grader or a ninth grader, they can play football at their high school, but they can only play freshman football. So what that means is on the roster that they play with at their school, all the kids on that roster have to be at least ninth grade or younger. And every team that they play against, the kids on that roster have to be ninth grade or younger. So if you are on a roster and you are all ninth graders on your roster and you play against another school that has 10th graders on their roster, that is considered a JV. You are no longer eligible to play in the YNC. So these are the rules. That's the guidelines. I know you guys try to manipulate the loopholes and this and that. It ain't happening. We've been doing this for a minute. That's what it is.
And so, and another reason we keep it to the top 10 because we know there's a lot of, how could I say, Clay, preseason posturing, meaning that these rosters, because we've been doing this so long, Clay, potentially will not look like the rosters that's going to look after the first. So teams are loaded up preseason. They showing out. They got some middle school players. They got a lot of different things where it's looking. And come September 1st, it's a different vibe. So we pay attention to those things. There's a lot of rosters that will look a lot different once these are uploaded and locked in. So we'll get a true reflection of the teams. And, that is what it is, Clay. It's the world we live in. But it's like we said. Here's a couple of things I want to address since we housekeeping. So we went to certain cities and, with inside of those seasons, we want to evaluate teams in those specific regions. So we can make sure we have a fair opportunity to include them in the rankings, include them in the potential to get invites to play for a national championship. And we would get a lot of feedback, Clay. Well, I don't want to play this team because in 3 weeks, I'm going to play this team again. And I don't want them to have the way my playbook. Listen, bro, if you worried about somebody's playbook because you played them, then you already lost. In the NFL on the highest level, if you play in the same division, you're going to play that team twice, regardless, right? But it to us, it was never about having you win or lose against your neighbor rivalry. What it is was to evaluate your team. So when you decline that and you don't want to play because it's a team you're going to play in 3 or 4 weeks, it's not so much about a win and loss. We want to evaluate your team to see if your team can compete, and we can really get a good eye at that regardless of who you're lining up against. So, Clay, for those coaches who are like, man, I want to play this team, I want to play this team, bro, you really just shot yourself in the foot. Because, again, if you wasn't outside, you can't expect – listen, the road to the national championship starts now from the teams that we've been evaluating. So, Clay, I got to tell you, those – preseason games, I tell you, Charlotte, Houston, DMV, been completely eye-opening for a lot of different teams that I didn't think, would be that good. You know what I'm saying? So definitely want to make sure that we're all on those points. Absolutely. So guys,
No,
we're
I
getting ready to
agree.
drop.
I agree. I agree.
So
And,
we're
and
getting
here's
ready
the
to
thing that
drop.
you have to realize, guys. It's a long
Yeah.
season, all right? It's a long season. If you're not in the rankings this week, that don't mean you need to dump your team. That don't mean you need to get on social media and do something crazy. It just means, man, talk to your kids. Say, listen, I really want y'all to be in the rankings so I can get on social media and talk my shit. So can you go out there and work a little bit harder for me? That's all you got to do. Just say, hey, listen here, little Timmy. You really want that VR? You really want that PlayStation, that Xbox? Look, Daddy really wants you to be ranked in the top 10 so I can get on social media and talk shit with the big boys. So
Right.
give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit something else. That's all you got to do, man. Motivate these kids because at the end of the day, here's what we're doing, man. We're trying to create a platform for these kids to compete at the ultimate level and help bridge the gap between where they are now and where they could be in the future, right?
All right.
So
All right, man.
here's the thing, and I gotta send a shout out, man, to my man, my Ace Boone Coon, my homie. Um, um, listen, man. Every time somebody say something negative about the YNC, I want to thank you. Whether if you disagree with the things that I say, whether if you disagree with my personal opinions, whether if you disagree with my antics, right? Thank you for your promotion. Because every time you get on the on the Blue app and you start talking about Clayton being disrespectful, or you're making statements about what Clayton said about this league or that league or whatnot, you promoting the YNC, man. Thank you for being a part of the Youth National Championship. I appreciate you, baby. I appreciate you.
That sounds like Eddie Murphy when he doing that there. I appreciate you, man. So listen, Clay, these people locked in. They up late. They got work tomorrow. They want to see who these teams are in the country. Before we jump to these teams real quick, you know it's time to go ahead and flex. With these babies getting this year, we want to give them a little tease. It's always got to have your eyes on some type of prize. And, hey, prize always got to get bigger and better every time at YNC. Can't stay on one levels. It's always levels to this, bro.
So listen, man, here's the thing. Every year we try to push the ball a little bit further. Every year we want to make it a little bit harder for the swagless monkeys to copy it, right? And this year, man, I think we might have accomplished that. Now, Jonah and I were in disagreement. I felt like we should wait another month before we drop this because it does give the swagless monkeys some time to try to copy it. But well, it just is what it is. Everybody know who they trying to be like the big boys. So without further ado, this year's 2023 national champions will receive, as y'all know, a dope national championship ring. But the new 2023 key to the city. Go on, hit him with it, AG.
Key to the city, baby.
There's that ring.
Clean
You know what I
vibes,
mean? We
clean
give him a
vibes.
little bit close.
Ooh.
And there's that key, Jonah.
Ooh, bling them out.
There's
Bling them
that
babies
key,
out.
Jonah. Hey, man.
Bling them babies out.
Oh, Jonah. I don't
Let me
know
see
if
it
they
in
really
person,
want
though,
it,
Clay. The picture don't do it justice. Let me see it in motion.
We're going to give it to him in person. We're going to give it to him in person. AG got something special for him right there at the end, though.
Ooh.
AG got something special for him right there at the end. Just wait for it. It's coming. It's coming, Jonah. It's coming, my man.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Oh, and it's spinning. You ain't do the spinning on them. Don't spin on them. Don't spin on the swagless monkeys. Don't spin on them.
Jonah.
Please don't spin on them swagless monkeys. Don't do it.
The haters are mad, Jonah.
Hey, and coaches,
right
yeah, y'all get it. Coaches, stay out the club with the keys. Stay out the club with the keys, coaches, please. We know y'all.
Hey, man.
You're going to be up there trying to press the little reds, whatever in the club. Tell my girl, I got the key to the city. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man,
stay out them clubs.
I hollered at my boy Rose. Hey, and his jeweler got with my jeweler, and we made it happen, man. So as y'all can see, man, right there on the live, man, there's that ring.
That thing chunky. Yeah, zoom in on Clay real quick, AG. Yeah.
There's that ring.
Yes, sir.
That national championship with that YNC ball on it. As y'all can see right there, our number one sponsor battle, right?
But Clay, you ain't telling them. You ain't telling what you need to tell them.
You got the best play here. You got the best play here, right? Iced all the way around, but this is what they want to see.
Hold on, Clay. Put the ring back up. Hold on.
They want to see.
Stop, Clay. Put the ring back up, Clay. Let's talk about. Wait. Put the chain down. Put the ring back up. So, for all those who just never intro to the next level, show them the side, Clay. Let me just let them see this real quick. Show them the side. Oh, we rose gold. We ain't play with it. Everything rose gold.
Rose gold this year. The best play here, baby.
Yeah. We just set different levels. We ain't finna do the little silver.
Can y'all
rose gold, the babies out.
Oh, yeah.
We
Now,
YNC
here's what
champs.
they really want to see, Jonah. Here's what they want to see,
Yeah,
my man.
yeah. All
Here's
that
what
you
they
ain't
want to
Cuban
see.
link them. You ain't ice them
Oh
out with
yeah,
the
you got to
Cuban
snap
link.
that thing right there in the back. That's what they wanted to see right there, Jonah.
Hey, speak a little Spanish, Clay. Senor, my friend, you didn't Cuban
Come
link the people.
quacha. Yeah, that's what they wanted to see right there, Joe. Ooh. So it don't matter which side you on, Jonah. You could have the YNC logo or you can have the battle
Yeah,
logo. Hey, and don't worry, even the edges of your key is iced up, baby. Right there.
yeah.
You know what it is.
You ain't
Hey!
Cuban link the people on Taco Thursdays with a little Spanish behind you. Espinosa.
That's it, man. That's it right there.
Oh,
We we done
yeah,
set we done set the
yeah.
trend again. We done set
Rose
the
gold
trend
again,
again.
baby. Match is set. Rose gold. So look, if you really got faith in your team, you might as well get your rose gold accessories right now. So when we lace you in December, we don't do that. We don't send nothing in the mail and tell you you're gonna get your rings later or you're gonna get your chains later. Nah, when you win, you catch your breath from that last touchdown. You come to the end of that end zone. Okay, grass still in your face, but we wiping all that off, and you getting your chunk right on the spot. You leaving as a champ, blinged out. So coaches, go ahead, get your rose gold accessory, get your little rose gold earring. Let's turn up, man. We ain't playing no games. So
No
listen,
doubt.
all jokes aside, it's because we really love what we do. We love these babies. We hear this motto all the time. This is for the kids. This is for the kids. Yeah. We've heard that a million times. You don't have to say it. You can do it. You see what I'm saying? So when Clay is in the drawing room and pulling up different things, and man, what can we do this year? What can we do with this year? Yeah, we competitors. We definitely gonna outswag whoever next to us because that's how we wake up. You understand what I'm saying? But we want to instill that to everybody who plays under the umbrella. Like we never gonna settle. We never gonna be happy with last year. We're not gonna be sleeping on 2022. So just as we always tell these coaches, man, coach up because your baby's going to be a reflection. The same thing under our umbrella. We already understand that we see you guys go online and you defend YNC on a lot of different platforms. We just tell you to chill. It ain't necessary because we always going to turn up on our end. But just like that, we're going to make y'all look good. So when you popping your YNC vibes, trust Clay and I, Chris over at Battle, we thinking at night how we going to make y'all look good. So when y'all pop y'all chains, and y'all pop y'all collars, and y'all pop y'all rose gold this year, y'all pop y'all battle national championship uniforms, just know 2024 is not going to be like this. You understand what I'm saying? So we're going to make sure y'all babies living their best life. You know what I'm saying? As long as we got something to do with it. So without further ado, we're going to take one quick commercial. Then we jumping into 6U. Who are the top 6U teams in the country? We're about to start it right now. So if you're a 6U parent, you're a 6U coach, you're a 6U fan, share the live because it's about to get real in the next couple of minutes when we come right back here on Generation Next Football Uncut.
You ain't never in the city, how the f you niggas active? I be hollering freelance sunny till I'm screaming that shit backwards. How you sliding, ain't nobody dying, that's a cap rapper. These lollipop, and I better yet, them boys the rapper. If I call it, it's disaster. Nobody matters. Can't catch my drift, I be swerving right there past it. You sent them boys to crash, oh that's your ass, go get the powder. I rock to make them ends meet, Lanine ain't tryna battle. I pick you.
I wanna talk about them Texas and Florida boys, come check us out, you hear? Yeah, check us out, yeah.
Come check us out, boy.
Hey, Joe, I ain't gonna lie. When Louisville Chargers was at the top of their game, man, they was a whole vibe, man.
Yeah.
They was a whole vibe.
So man, but Clay, and not to pat ourselves on the back, but Listen, man, we really kind of set that trend when it comes to the youth football commercials, the youth football vibes. That's what it's all about, letting these babies have their shine. It's their time to shine. So we create that platform with them. So you already know when you come to YNC, we're about to make you be a part of a movie. Speaking of parts of movies, again, we're in our regular season, we're going to be the top 15. Of course, always our top 10 and our 5 teams on the rise. Those top 5 teams on the rise are teams that we feel to have the opportunity to jump in the top 10. And we're always focused between those 8 to 10 teams that really can represent the nation, who we feel can come down to YNC and battle out for a national championship. So you may ask Clay and myself, or the Generation X and whole, why do you guys ranking this? What's your difference between anybody who ranks teams? We see a whole bunch of different rankings out there. Well, I'll tell you what. It's just like the college playoffs. College playoffs take their top 4 right now. These top teams, they punch their tickets right into the YNC. So our rankings serve a purpose. It's not just for glamour. It ain't just for you to post on Instagram. It's the route to the national championship. So without further ado, 6 and under. I'm going to start from number 10. Next week, we'll be at the top 15, so we'll have more teams included in each age division. Coming out of Florida, representing the Duval area, Duval Jaguars come in at number 10 for 6 and under. Representing the Georgia area, coming in at rank number 9, Lithonia Park Lions in the house. Coming back to the state of Florida, representing again, staying north this time, at number 8, the West Orlando Jaguars. And coming back to Georgia once again, there's been some Georgia and Florida vibes right here. Atlanta Elite at number 7. Getting out of Florida, getting out of Georgia, flying over to Alabama. Big Wahoma Seminoles in the house coming in at number 6. And at number 5, back in your neighborhood, Clay, coming in, SED Wolverines representing the number 5 spot.
Before we built
also now coming in from the Maryland area, I know y'all didn't see this coming. Them boys playing some good football, start a little slow. They picked it up big time. DMV Prime cheat code is what we call it. DMV Prime coming in at the number 3 spot. Bessemer Tigers representing Alabama. Now at the number 2 spot, having a big win over the Tigers. Hey, they're going to say, well, Jonah, they ain't really been out. Yeah, they've been out there. They've been playing some ball, man. And they knocked off the number 2 team in the nation at the time, True Motion Sharks. So let me tell you, the Sharks doing it. They're representing big at the Alabama area. And coming in at the number 1 team in the nation. Week one, at the top of the hill, king of the hill, representing out of the state of Georgia, GEA, Georgia Elite Athletes at the number 1 spot this week, week 1. A lot can change, Clay, but right now it's in stone, it's in the books, it's in the records. These are your top teams in the nation right here at 6 and under.
One thing that is for sure, Jonah, is the rankings are going to change. The rankings are going to change. There's never been a year that the top 10, or in this case, the top 15, once we get into the regular season, has stayed the same from the first time we dropped it all the way to the end. So
not even the top 5
is going to change. Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. So, all right. So now that the 6U parents can go on and go on to bed for the night.
Right. They out of here. They screenshot and they about to hit it.
Yeah, we're going to get this 7U popping. So just like Jonah explained, once we get into the regular season, we're going to have the top 15 on 7U. We'll have our On the Rise, which are going to be 11 through 15. And then, of course, the top 10. So right now, starting with the top 10, and I'll be the first one to say this. On our flyer, this was an error that we made, all right? So I'm telling you who the number 10 team in the country is right now, and we will get the error corrected when we put the flyer out on social media. Sitting at number 10 is the Oak Cliff Titans out of Texas. Oak Cliff Titans out of Texas, a team that we've watched in multiple events, a team that came to the YNC last year, a team that has a chip on their shoulder and they want to prove some things. Number 9, all the way off the East Coast, Maryland Heat. Maryland Heat I mean, you can't be a part of youth football and not know who the Maryland Heat are.
Right.
Sitting at number 8, Lauderdale Lake Vikings, all the way down from South Florida. So I like it so far, Jonah, as we've kind of mixed it up, with different parts of the country. The number 7 team in the country, growing right back to Texas, into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the T&S Cougars. Now, the number 6 team in the country is another Texas team, but they from a different part of the state, out of Houston. You and I both watched this team in person. Space City Heat, a team built on speed and precision.
Yes,
And
sir.
now, as we introduce the number 5 team in the country, I'm not going to say all the way, but in Alabama, Peters Park Panthers, another team that's physical. They run a lot of misdirection, and they swarm to the ball on defense. As we head over to Florida, the number 4 team in the country, Duval Jaguars. And of course, as you see, sitting at number 3, Georgia Elite Academy.
Yep.
The number 2 7U team in the country. And this is an organization that's always in the top 10 in multiple age levels. Atlanta Elite. And then the number 1 7U team in the country, the defending Division I YNC national champions, the Bessemer Tigers out of Bessemer, Alabama. Hey, Jonah, like I said, man, besides us making that one arrow on 10U with our graphics, man, this list is fire, brother.
Yeah. And those top 3 teams can be interchangeable. Right now, Bessemer holding serve, but I've watched Bessemer play GEA directly after GEA had a couple games that they had to play in the preseason in the tournament style. I feel they can really run with Bessemer, so it'll be a different type of vibe as we get closer to the end of the year. And Atlanta Elite, listen, between Georgia Elite and Atlanta Elite, Clay, a lot of action between those 2 teams that's going to take place as we approach the national championship. So, now that you got the roll, let me keep rolling. We're going to roll to 8 and under right now. 8 and under action. Coming in from the North Carolina area at number 10, Royal Hornets Elite. Now, you don't hear a lot about them. You better get out there and watch some football. These boys balling at the 8 and under division. Of course, coming back out there, the Wolverines have just been really good at a lot of age groups, Clay. SCD Wolverines coming in at number 9. I got to tell you, tough defense. Came out to Houston, did their thing. This is going to be a tough team to beat. I think they're probably one of the best teams coming out of Texas beside the Gorilla Mob. Going back to Florida, Orlando Outlaws. I'm liking this team, man, to really run North Florida as they'll just come out and push. This was a team that kind of split, hairs with West Orlando Jags and Orlando Outlets. They split a lot of top athletes in those areas. Coming in at the number 7, you hear the name once again out of Georgia, Atlanta Elite. We've said that name 3 times so far. So if you had to talk about program of the year, man, they're definitely throwing their hat in it, just having teams in the top 10. Now, this is a team that really impressed me as they went head-to-head with Atlanta Elite. Man, Maryland Elite showed their toughness to go ahead and shut that Atlanta Elite team down, which is a very dynamic team. Look for Maryland Heat to really push in the top 4 or 5 this year. That's a tough, talented team. And listen, you've known this team for a while. They've been in the YNC battling since they were babies. They call them affectionately known the Dog Pound, Lauderdale Lakes Vikings, coming in at the number 5 representing the FYFL. And another program that you want to just say they can be competing for the National Park of the Year. You keep hearing the same name again. Duval Jaguars coming in at the number 4 spot. Gotta love how they're in the mix of every year. They just got to win the big game, Clay. And, of course, coming at the number 3 spot, representing Texas, Gorilla Mob. Those are, to me, this is outside of Bessemer. Clay, I got to give you some props. Gorilla Mob is one of the most dynamic 8 and under teams. I look for them boys to be there in the national championship competing for a trophy. No matter how it shakes up, I think they have enough wherewithal to be in the top 2 at the end of the year. Of course, representing out of Georgia, man, a team that's just been pushing it from last year. defending national champs versus national champs. They're holding serve at 1 and 2. RDU. This is a team, man, that counted. They were counted out last year. They proved everybody that, look, we're never going to be out for the count. This is a team that I think can push right again to maybe back in that championship game. Teams that want to push for it, but don't sleep on Red Dog Unit RDU at number 2. And of course, Clay, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, the man is Bessemer Tigers, the number 1 team in the nation out of Alabama. Another team that's another organization trying to put multiple teams or multiple age divisions on the national stage. So shout out Bessemer Tigers. Shout out Red Dog, Gorilla Mob, Duval, Lauderdale Lakes, Maryland Elite, Atlanta Elite, Orlando Outlaws, SED Wolverines, and the Royal Hornets Elite for capping in week 1, 8U.
You know what's funny to me, Jonah, right? A lot of people are talking about this team should be here, this team should be there. And it's funny to me to watch people on social media argue about who should be number 7, 8, and 9 when the goal should be number 1. If you're not the number 1 team in the country, man, you should be shooting at something, not arguing over who's gonna get to play the number 1 team in the first round. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being
said, but that's
said,
usually the conversation, Clay, because nobody want to be that number 8 coming in there.
They don't want to see that number 1 at all, right? They don't want to see that number 1 at all.
Oh, but, man.
Let's roll on over to 9U. Now, as we know, 9U is an age division that everybody have pretty much knows who the number 1 team in the country is, the most dominant team in that age level. As we get into the regular season, we'll have the on the rise 11 through 15. But on this first poll, starting at number 10, got to start in Atlanta, Georgia. 404 Bulls. Sitting at number 9 as we go over to Florida. Now, I know y'all think we're going to say South Florida, but right now we're talking about the Orlando area. The West Orlando Jaguars are sitting at number 9 on 9U. Now, this number 8 team, we just saw them play this past weekend in DMV, and I was impressed. Cincinnati Elite, also known as CBE Sawboys. Number 7, and this is a team that I talked about to a lot of people. They didn't win the event. They lost in the first round. But when you lose to the number 1 team in the country, 12-0, and then dominate the rest of the event, I think you earn a little respect. Number 7, the Indy Firehawks.
Yeah.
Sitting at number 6, and this is a team that's been dominant, the past couple years. They did take a L in the preseason, but we do feel like their body of work speaks for them. Sitting at number 6, the Crescent City Chargers. And then your top 5 9Us in the country. Sitting at number 5, a team that really made a name for themselves this weekend at DMV. The Legacy U Hurricanes out of Ohio. Number 4, an organization that, like you said, Jonah, won Organization of the Year last year. And as we go through these different age levels, you're going to see their name over and over again. The Bessemer Tigers. Number 3, SED Wolverines out of Dallas, Texas. The number 2 team in the country, RDU. And the number 1 team in the country, Atlanta Elite Voodoo, number 1 and number 2 in 9A. I'm going to talk about in 9U, both out of Atlanta, Georgia, man. That's going to make the city hot. If those 2 lock up, Jonah, we might have to catch a flight for that one.
You already know. But what a crazy age group, Clay, because in Houston, Crescent City Chargers was the hottest 9U team, jumping out the gate, you know what I'm saying, knocking off, the 8 and the boys. We're like, oh, man, Crescent City Chargers about to run through here. Man, but that was a short-lived celebration as day 2, they got knocked off. So the hottest team I felt in Texas that weekend was definitely Red Dog Unit. They was rolling. But you got to give all the props also to SC Wolverines because they went through the gauntlet on the backfields, won their brackets. So what I love in it is outside of, Voodoo being so dominant, that this 9U age group is getting competitive, And
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
that's what we want to see. We want to see these teams start getting out there. And I can tell you, Red Dog Unit, they raised up their level of play. Played Voodoo early in the year. It wasn't good for them. But like the coach told me, Coach Red said, hey, man, we didn't have all our team there. We was getting everybody together. It's going to be a different vibe next time we see Voodoo. So like you said, if they do line it up, Clay, we jumping on them airlines. We got to be there on the sideline for that vibe, 100%.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
So, my man, this is a very popular age group, Clay. They got their own page. They got their own vibes. They even got their own media personnel, media rail. They got their own talk show. I mean, these boys living. It's like a high-rise apartment in the 10U world. You feel me? It ain't just,
Hey.
Somebody pop in on the page. Now they got funeral media vibes they doing. It's a whole theatrics, my man. A whole theatrics. But why not? It's a very competitive age group. This is one of the few age groups, Clay, that I can tell you it's wide open. Now, Georgia Eagles has been playing some dominant football. I think they've elevated their play with Avery quarterback, taking it up to the next level. That he's just a great general in the football field. Solid defense. That's what a lot of people don't really give credit to the Georgia Eagles for. They play some solid defense. But besides that, man, it's a very open field. So just you'll recognize some of these names as we break down the top 10 teams at 10 and under. Starting at the number 10 spot, coming in from Alabama, Big Tribe, Wahuma Seminoles, representing Alabama. Coming in and representing Florida, Clay, another organization trying to put their name on the map of having multiple teams or and that's a successful program when you got teams on multiple levels. West Orlando Jags representing Florida at the number 9 spot. Back in Alabama. I don't know what they feeding them boys. I don't know what they got in the water. But Alabama is producing some football players right now. Tarrant City Ducks, number 8. A team that's known, or area that's known for its epic basketball, Clay. It ain't the usual football type of vibe. Out of Kentucky, Ali Elite, representing at the number 7 spot. Team that has its up and downs, but we've seen some recent improvement from this team that has us feeling we're feeling safe at putting them at number 6 here in the nation because they're going to rep their brand. Out of Texas, Texas boys, DEA, Dragon Elite Academy. Again, I sound like a broken record, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying this organization one more time. At the 10 and under, at the number 5 spot, Duval Jaguars,
Yes,
back here on another age level. That's something to say, Clay. You got to get some respect. Well, respect is due.
Most definitely.
Man,
Most definitely.
a team that is very tough. Defense is hard hitting. The defense straight biting. I like this team as a dark horse. Don't sleep. I'm back in Alabama once again, drinking that Alabama lemonade or whatever they got going over there. Montgomery Gators representing at the number 4 spot. This team here hasn't been at full strength with their superstar, their Michael Jordan. Their Steve, however you want to break it down, but they have been able to hold off players except for taking a loss to the Georgia Eagles. Miami Garden Ravens, a.k.a. the Flock, holding it down at the number 3 spot in the nation. Big respect doing it without their big guns. Now, of course, man, I feel like I'm back at the YNC National Championship game, getting my popcorn ready as I was getting ready to get up in the booth and watch the 2 top teams in the country battle out for a national championship. Hey, make rooms. The name may change, but the play hasn't. Rare city doing rare things out of the Georgia area. And then spread your wings, take off your hat, give a salute to these boys representing from Georgia, representing the YNC National Championship brand with class. Shout out to the number 1 team in the country at 10 and under, Georgia freaking Eagles.
Hey, man. So here's the thing, Jonah. Here's the thing that let's just say this list plays out, bro. Let's just say for one moment this list
bring it
plays
up close,
out.
AG, let's see this list real quick. Let's take a look.
Let's just say this 10U list plays out. We know that the Georgia Eagles and Rare City is going to be at the YNC, right? We've heard that the Miami Garden Ravens have said this year, on this level, they come in Y&C after already playing the Georgia Eagles. You know the
You want they
Montgomery
bite back.
Gators are gonna be. You know the Montgomery Gators will be there. You know Duval will be there. You know DEA will be there. The question is, will Ali Elite and the Tarrant City Ducks round out the top 8? Man, that could be a crazy bracket. A crazy bracket.
Would it even be crazier, Clay, if all those top 10 came down to Florida instead of the 8?
Mm.
Something to think about. Now, try that on for apples. You imagine that? Seminoles open up against the Eagles. West Orlando opened up against Rare City. Tarrant City opened up against the Ravens. Ali opening up against the Gators. Jags and DEA off week 1. That is
Yeah,
football city. Football heaven.
exactly.
Stay tuned.
Hey, no,
Stay tuned.
no other place you would rather be. No other place you would rather be. All right, man. So we done
Stay
gave
tuned.
10U they shine. Let's roll on over to 11U. So for those of you that have just joined us, and I know some of y'all done went to bed because we were over 1,000. Now we're about at 852, right? So on the rise, 11 through 15, we will add as the season progresses, right? Right now, we're looking at the top 10. So we're going to start 11U sitting at number 10 in the country. And again, this is an organization that puts up some big names. So you gotta recognize them. Bessemer Tigers, right? Now, sitting at number 9, Spartanburg Gators out of South Carolina. Now, I must admit, this is a team that I haven't seen a lot on personally, but I'm watching the video clips. I'm seeing the comments. I'm looking at the scores. This is going to be a team people will have to deal with this year. Number
Yes,
8,
sir.
out of the DMV area, mostly known for being in DC, the Watkins Hornets. Sitting at number 7, all the way from the West Coast, the OG Ducks. Sitting at number 6, and again, this is a team that I felt like was going to have a better start to their season than they did. But I do know the head coach, and I know that he's a dog. So the team is going to be filled with dogs, and they're going to fight back. They've got a big game this weekend against Lambeau, the TNS Cougars. Now, as we roll into this top 5, sitting at number 5, a team that went to Charlotte and lost to 2 teams that are above them in this top 5, but then came back home to Texas and redeemed themselves. Renegade Coach United. Number 4, everybody knows them. Rare Breeds out of Atlanta, Georgia. Sitting at number 3, you have Atlanta Elite Red Dog, our YNC Division II national champion, now ready for their Division I showcase. The number 2 team in the country, and the team that almost upset the number 1 team in the country, Fort Lauderdale Hurricanes, and then the number 1 team in the country. And I say it again and again. I'm going to keep saying it till somebody beat them. In my opinion, the number 1 team in youth football, pound for pound. Central DeKalb Jaguars, also known as Lambeau, man. What you think about this list right there, Jonah?
Oh, it is what it is, like you say. Right now, Lambeau sitting at the top of the hills, taking on every challenger possible. Close games, big games, win by 40, win by 6, it don't matter. They won. That's been the consensus. Fort Lauderdale Hurricanes is the closest thing that happened to come to it, but guess what? At the end of the day, they haven't beat Lambeau. So I like the list where it's at. Atlanta Elite, up and coming. They came out there, played preseason, played a lot of teams that they didn't think people didn't think they could beat. They came out on top. Rare Beats run it late, and then RCU, man, coming in late, knocking off TNS, the AYF national champions. That you got to see a lot. Great way for them to bounce back. So I like this list, man. I like this list a lot. Another age group, man, that got its own vibe, man, is the 12 and under list, Clay. The 12 and under list, they got their own vibe going on 12 and under. So let's not keep the people waiting. We don't want to keep them up all night. I'm looking at, okay, we doing good on time. At the number 10 spot, coming in at for number 12, all the way up in the spot where you think Patrick Ewing was representing. No, it ain't Patrick Ewing. They're coming out of New York. It's the Brooklyn Chiefs. Puff Daddy gonna bring this team out at the YNC. Represent Puff Daddy and Mace gonna come out representing Brooklyn. And they've been playing some excellent football. They came down to Charlotte, rolled out, won in Charlotte, won everything in Charlotte. A team that has a lot of upside to it. A team now, man, that took a hard loss against the Rare Breeds. After that loss, Clay, I said, man, they don't belong anywhere around no ranking, nowhere, no time soon. But they came back, played football. They made some personnel changes. They put Gabe at quarterback. It's a different vibe right now. They look like they belong back in the pack. Got to give a shout out to Dragon Elite Academy at the number 9 spot. They're making a push back. Coming in at the number 8 spot, team that took a loss to Ravens early in the year, know they have the capability. This was the only team to ever get their scratch against the Rare Breed. Same team. They made some changes. Look for the Ducks and make some real good changes in this year. OG Ducks. Of course, this is the team that rose B5 to what he is today. You know what I'm saying? And they thought once B5 came off that team, that this team would be dead. No, this team is just as potent, just as dangerous. Yep. Of course, you can't recover for losing a kid like B5. But Trey Man Elite representing out of Florida at the number 7 spot. And look, Coach Reggie came down to Houston, played in a hot temperature. We thought they would be able to acclimate to that type of temperature. They proved everybody wrong. Kicked butt, took names, and got out of there and got back on the plane and headed back to Seattle. Shoot, give a big shout out to Air Apex Predators, Air Academy, man, doing it big out of Seattle. Man, team that came out, knocked the Ducks off with authority at the beginning of the year, and then came back, went to Southfield, took a loss, had an injury, which we really think really changed the complexity of the game, and didn't score the second half. But we know that team is still dangerous. They're building something special there. Miami Garden Ravens at number 5. Now, a team we just saw get off this weekend right in front of us, very dangerous, has a big cornerback, big backs, a lot of offense. They really are gelling, got big number 0 back. Big shout out TJ and those boys. City Life Raptors coming in at the number 4 spot representing Maryland. And, of course, a team that was this close to knocking off the number 2 team in the nation, a lot of talent on the team, and this is a name, a household, it's not a household name yet, but they're number 3 for a reason. Don't sleep on PTB, boy. It's prime time elite Bulldogs out of Florida, man. So, I mean, this is a team that is representing North Carolina. And then, of course, the number 2 team in the nation, which gave Rare Breeds a run, of course, defending AYF champs. Got to give them boys their respect. Southfield Falcons representing out in the Michigan area. And, of course, the number 1 team in the world, Clay. The number 1 team in the world. Hey, give a shout out to the boys representing out of Georgia. Rare Breeds, man, I got to tell you, is a special team with a lot of talent. It's going to take a lot to beat or to compete with those guys. They just want to get some games right now because no one wants to get on the other side of that machine gun. But that does it for your top 10 of the 12 and under teams here for Generation Next Week 1.
Now, Jonah, one thing that we know is that there's 13U, just the coaches, the parents. I mean, they their own vibe, man. They rock heavy.
13U community.
They talk shit. You know what I mean? So, without further ado, man, we just gonna jump right into it, man. Sitting at number 10 on 13U, team that we saw this weekend, and I really, really thought that I was going to see something to make me join the bandwagon of everybody on the East Coast of how good the team is, right? And I think they are a good team, but they didn't show me what I thought I was going to see to make them a top 3 team in the country, and that is the Brick City Lions on 13U. Yeah. Coming in at number 9, PME out of Virginia, Playmakers Elite. Sitting at number 8, and this is a team that I've seen a lot of different opinions on social media. Some people have these guys as the number 1 team in the country, number 2 team in the country. I've seen some people put them in top 5. Based on their body of work, Generation Next say they come in at number 8 in the country. The Tampa Fighting Irish. Sitting at number 7, team that came to Charlotte and really did it, really did some great things. North Carolina Giants.
Yeah.
And then again, another team from the most dominant org on the West Coast, sitting at number 6, the OG Ducks. Now, as we jump into this top 5, man, I feel like that this number 5 team really showed some muscle. They showed some grit, and they made big plays when they needed to this past weekend when we were in DMV. Maryland Heat, a.k.a. the Mob, sitting at number 4. And hopefully this team finally makes its way over to the YNC. St. Louis Elite out of Missouri.
Yeah.
The number 3 team in the country right now, and they have some dynamic players on their squad. West Orlando Jaguars. The number 2 team in the country, Lauderdale Lake Vikings out of South Florida. And then the number 1 13U team in the country, RDU, Real Deal Dream Chasers out of Atlanta, Georgia, man. This thing gonna be fire.
Now you imagine that as a lineup, Clay. Imagine those matchups. You know, even if you did at the top 8, Tampa Fighting
that first
Irish
round matchup between the Tampa Fighting Irish and RDU would be crazy.
Dope. I would love to see that North Carolina Giants, which is a tough team with a big back against the Vikings. Then you're talking about the Ducks against West Orlando Jags out the gate. I love it. Then St. Louis Elite taking on Maryland Heat the Mob. That would be first round. And that's what I'm talking about. First round off the plane. We didn't even get to round 2. Off the plane, just you down on heaven once again. You understand what I'm saying? So where are you going to get better competition than that at the 13 and under, man? That's just going to be a crazy lineup. Crazy lineup. The Heat is definitely right there, brother. Definitely right there. So, Clay, you know, I'm not trying to cut your party short or anything like that at all. I know I've been riding out on the even ones, but you and I and the committee all agreed that we've watched a good amount of 14 and under, but not to the point where we're ready to bust that top 10. So top 10 for 14 and under will be released this coming week because a lot of 14Us wasn't outside preseason as we want to see at least 2 or 3 games to get a sample size. You know, so what I will tell you, OC Buckeyes is a team that I'm favoring for to being at the top. Again, Elite played some great football right in front of us against Maryland Heat. Again, Elite is probably looking the most dangerous I've ever seen that organization. They put some players together. And, you know, it's hard for us to kind of judge, was Maryland Heat not that good or was Gen Elite that dominant? And again, that was Maryland Heat just coming outside early in the year as well. But look forward to Gen Elite, I think, is a top, in my opinion, Clay. You know, we all have to sit down with committee. In my opinion, I really think Gen Elite's in the top 4. And I already know what Les is bringing over at the Buckeyes. The question to be is that Keefe is not the head coach of the OG Ducks 14U this year, Clay. How would this Ducks team look the first time without Keefe being at the realm? That's a big question. You know what I'm saying? How is that team going to look?
Sometimes, Jonah, you got to realize that change isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it can be a good thing. You know, Coach Keefe has he casts a big shadow wherever he goes, especially in the West Coast within the OG Ducks organization.
Yeah.
He's won national championships. He's the only coach to win the trifecta in youth football history. And for those of you that don't know what the trifecta is, his team won the AYF national championship, the YNC national championship, and the FBU national championship, all in the same year, right? Nobody else has duplicated that. And he's put together probably some of the most historic 14U teams in the past 7, 8, 9 years, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely have to give the guy his flowers. But like I said, Jonah, no matter how good you are, sometimes a little change may not necessarily be a bad thing. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. So next week, 14U, we bust out next week, top 15. Make sure you stay in our ear. Who do you think are the top 15 teams in the country from 6U to 14U, which means the top 10 and the top 5 teams on the rise? Clay, kind of recap. If you're a national champion and you want to go ahead or you feel like you can be part of the national championship run, where do I go ahead and submit my rosters? Where do I get on the map before it's too late? Because I don't want to be one of those teams at September 15th and say, man, I think, are we good enough to be part of YNC? Then guess what? Then you out of luck. Remind these people, for the people that tuned in late.
So, guys, you got to remember, right? September 1st at midnight. That means you might as well say August 31st at 11:59 p.m. Your roster needs to be submitted in the Zort system. Your full player roster and your coaches roster. Anything after midnight, the rosters will be locked. You won't be able to submit all your players. You'll be stuck out. I mean, there's no other way to say it. You'll be stuck out. The website is there in black towards the bottom of the flyer, www.zortsports.com/league/app/14052. I recommend that you do this on a computer or on a tablet using the web browser. Do not use the Zorts app on your phone. You're going to have issues with it. If you do it in the web browser of your tablet or on your computer, you have a lot more, it's a lot more user-friendly, right? So these are the things that have to be taken care of. Get it in, get it in, get it in. Even if you're not on the top 10 rankings, you're not ranked in the top 15, even if you haven't won a game all preseason, get that roster in, because if some things shake your way and you go undefeated during the season and win some championships, you might be getting a call from Jonah Woolard.
Uh-oh. Gillery, Clayton Gajali. I love it. Gajali. Hey, man. Listen, Clay, I'm not going to hold you up, man. I know you got high school practice. You know, you're trying to take everything on to the next level, trying to give them that vibe back. But before we get out of here, let's get them keys of the city. Hey, it's for y'all, big baby. It's for y'all. I love it. Slow motion. Woo!
This is what the key to the city look like, y'all.
Yes, sir.
That's what it looked like, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Let them shorties have their little swag, man. All right, so listen, people. We will still see you guys this week. We know a lot of regular seasons have started through league play, and there's still a lot of national play that's coming to take place this week. Will be, of course, big game going down this weekend, Clay.
Hey, Jonah, my phone already blowing up with text messages, bro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, Clay, we hate you. We hate you, bro. You ain't put us on them right. Oh, I hate you. Nigga's a bomb in your car.
No doubt. No doubt.
Oh, man, but Clay, big game going down this weekend, man. Lambeau, TNS. Can TNS rebound after taking that loss to RCU to play big Lambeau? Or does Lambeau smell blood in the water and just go ahead and finish them off?
So the question isn't if they can bounce back. They don't have no choice but to bounce back. This is a pivotal game for TNS, and here's why. Because remember, before the RCU game, the last time TNS lost was to Lambeau, and it wasn't close. It was an embarrassing loss. Now, Lambeau is coming to your home field. You just lost the Texas preseason state championship to RCU, a team that Lambeau had already dominated, the week prior to you playing them. And I think for Coach Zimmy and the TNS Cougars, they have to bounce back. They have to shock the world. Or they at least have to keep it close and respectable. Because you just lost to RCU. If you don't make it close and respectable to Lambeau, you and your parents are talking about going a different route, man. And the YNC ain't it. I can tell you that right now. So, but like I tell you this, Coach Zimmy's a hell of a coach, man. And one thing I know about him is that he's going to always put his kids in the best position to win as possible. So it will be interesting to see how this thing shake out this weekend.
Man, what do you say to those teams that the scared football thing, you see some of these top teams in the nation can't get games. You get some teams backing out. Do you think you can get too good, Clay, where the competition just doesn't want to? They don't want to line up.
So let me tell you, and I hope I don't speak this into existence. But I think voodoo is so good that a lot of teams are going to do what they can to avoid the YNC because they don't want to face voodoo. I think rare breeds is so good that a lot of teams are going to do what they can to avoid the YNC because they don't want to play rare breed. You know, I think Lambo is so good that a lot of teams are going to do what they can to avoid the YNC because they don't want to play Lambo. But here's my message to all you guys. You can complain to me about the age cutoff date difference. You can complain to me about, whatever it is that you want to complain about. If you can't beat the YNC champion, you're not the best. And I'm just being honest with you. I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not fabricating anything. As the people say, I'm not trying to spin a narrative. I am speaking cold, hard facts to you. If you cannot beat the YNC Division One national champion, you cannot say you are the best. So the question
Clay,
is, do you want to say you the best? Or do you just want to say you was the best in something else? You know what
that's
I'm
what
saying?
they've been happy with. They've been happy with that. You know, I think I'm going to go ahead and become a football psychologist. Teams that's running from the smoke, I'm going to offer you some mental services. I'm going to offer you a hypnotize for you to run to the smoke, run towards the smoke. Stop being scared, man. It's football. So yeah, Clay. As the season progresses, we'll call those teams out. And this is and it's hard to say it, but I'm gonna just say it. We created a YNC because we wanted to be an ultimate level of competition. It's like you have some of them fight boxing. They did WBA and the different boxing things because they wanted to have extreme. We'll be making some announcements as we get close to the national championships. But even on the off-season, Clay, our internal group just talked about keeping YNC very elite and our competition very elite. And it's because we wanted to be something special. So as you hold up that key that Clay has been showing y'all all night, you wearing that rose gold ring, it's not just to look pretty, but it means something. Okay, if you see a kid on this year with this around his neck in 2023, it means he's paid the dues. Bruh, we not the Army. We not the Air Force. We listen, we not the Navy. YNC is like the Marines, the few and the proud. We ain't trying to be like everybody else. So you want to be the few and the proud? Okay, you know what I'm saying? Play on elite level football. Because we gave you guys some examples just from the rankings, right? Of what those brackets would look like round one. Who sees any national championship with round one that looks like that? So when you see a kid rocking that, you see a coach, they've been through the gauntlet. And so, man, we not slowing down. We just finna turn up that much more. We're not taking foot off necks. We're not taking foot off gas. We're not pumping no brakes. You know what I'm saying? We starting fire so we can make sure all the smoke is at YNC, and we'll ensure to do that. So we want the competition level to be there, the facilities be there, whatever y'all gonna win to be there. AG stepping up his red flag challenge, his slow motion game, the video game. Listen, everybody who's affiliated with YNC, our commercials when them baby, before and after. Swaggerless monkeys. Go ahead and try to bite. Ooh, man. So, hey, let y'all babies know. Hey, screenshot. If y'all babies sleep, then you know they're going to school tomorrow. Go ahead and screenshot it for them. Like, baby, when you get up, it's motivation. Thug motivation. We finna go. But everybody who's affiliated with what we do, we want to get better and better. When you see the battle commercials, you see the recaps, you see the slow motion, you see the red flag challenges, you see the AG productions. No one's taking steps back. If you can look back at YNC, I want to say 3-4 years ago when you just start first seeing the live streaming, look where the live streaming is at now to where it is. So everything affiliated, man, we just trying to take it to the next heights, man. So that means coaches, Take your game to the next level. If teams don't want to play, it's all good. Get your games, handle your business. We're going to make sure we have the platform for y'all to play for y'all national championship. So listen, if somebody want to
Pressure.
take the ball and play over there and they don't want to shine over there, at the end of the day, they can't claim the best. They can't claim it, and they know it. So the national championships runs through the YNC.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, Jonah, man, before you let these people start getting on social media and bashing us, right? Start talking about we showing favoritism to this, we showing favoritism to that, upset, ready to off themselves because their kids' team is not on our list. Jonah, what do you say to that mom and dad that's so upset with you right now that
Oh,
they got a whole thesis typed up
woo.
right now that they waiting to hit send in your DM?
But okay, I'm gonna just give y'all some to close. My mama does play on one of the teams up, and you know that we she is a starting tailback. Y'all caught me. Oh man, stop playing, man. Get out there, play some football. It's week 1. Like Claire say, the champion, the rankings will change weekly. We'll add to the top 15, and we'll evaluate, man. And we're gonna evaluate it. Nobody's gonna agree except for the team that's number 1. You understand what I'm saying? So you got 8 teams that's gonna agree with you this week, Clay. The rest of the 80 or 90, man.
No, I feel you.
Nobody say, hey, like, okay, so listen, any questions y'all want to ask real quick? This Q&A time, we got about 5 minutes that we'll hit Q&A time before Clay and I hit it. Ask your questions now, type them in. Clay, you're showing out right now. You sure?
What you mean, bro? I mean, damn, Jonah, this whole so heavy. You really got to do finger curls to strengthen your shit up, man. I ain't even finna lie to
Nigga
you.
say finger
Like Jonah,
crunches.
look. If I hold my hand like this, look how that finger go down. I mean, it's heavy, bro.
What you call it, Clay? It's a finger crunch? That's a finger crunch you
Yeah,
do?
yeah. That thing heavy, bro. God, dog.
Oh, man. All right, well, we don't got no questions right now. It look like we good right now. So listen, we'll put all the artwork on. We'll put it out there on Generation X, the breakdown. You get all the artwork so you guys can go ahead and start putting y'all flyers up. All right, Clay, Howard got a question for you, Clay.
Where's my bag at with my money?
Ah!
Hey, we got your bag, Howard. Don't worry, we got your bag, homie.
Uh, is Boynton in the top 12, top 10? Is Boynton in the top 12, you, my brother?
Here's the
That's what he
thing, guys.
wanted.
Let me answer this for you, Jonah. Let me answer this for you. Guys, you have to remember what you just saw was a top 10. A lot of teams that are on here saying we deserve to be in the top 10, we deserve to be this, we deserve to be that, we got snubbed, whatever. How you know you're not in the next 5? And how many times, Jonah, have we been doing this where we've seen a number 15 or 14 team by the
Jump
end
right
of the
up in
season
there.
end up number 6, number 5, or number 4 in the country? Guys, be patient.
100%.
It's a long season. And the one thing Jonah and I, we never claim to be perfect. We done got some rankings really well, and we done fucked up on some rankings before too. But one thing about this show right here on Football's Uncut, we're gonna always make it right. Just give us time.
Terrell said, hold up with my spinning chain at. Hold on, Terrell. They got pictures you in the club with a spinning chain on. You trying to get 2, bro? You trying to get a second one? They got you in the club spinning. What you mean? Oh man. Nah, so Iceberg Shorty, that's one thing that's not gonna happen. Nobody's gonna sit on rankings, not this year. They can sit on rankings for 1 week, and we're gonna be out of there. Terrell, I'm gonna go ahead next show, Terrell. Even if I have to do artwork, I'm gonna have that chain around your neck on artwork. Talking about cat. We're gonna show that chain next week.
We definitely gonna see it.
So, yeah, in the club. All right, so y'all want to see 7U top 10? We're gonna go ahead and put it not on the show right now. We've already went through that, but we will post it on the Instagram and Facebook so y'all can go there. Okay, we got you. We got you, Space City. Space City Bounty Boys, not Heat. They don't want the Heat vibe. Space City, we got you. We got you.
Hey man,
Oh, I want to make
so
sure
so
Florida teams are on. Jonah Gate, Florida. Oh, that's how it is. Okay.
hey
So if I
Jonah,
move to New
Florida
York,
say
I
you
better
don't
put
show them
that.
no
If
love,
I was in
fam.
New York, that one Brooklyn team was gonna be me. Hey boy, hey Jonah, that New York team, boy, that's you. I think y'all got too much time on y'all hand. That's what it is.
Here's the thing,
So
guys.
the
Y'all
reason
gotta remember,
I don't
man. There's no personal benefit for Jonah and I to not have a team in the top 10, man. We want the best teams in the top 10. If your team is not in the top 10 or top 15 as the season progresses, then that means that their body of work has not spoken to the ranking committee. And here's the thing, it ain't just Clayton and Jonah deciding the rankings. It truly is a ranking committee. It is a body of people that get on a Zoom call, talk about different teams, talk about wins and losses, talk about kids leaving the team, kids being added to a team, coaching styles, this and that. It's not just we pulling names out of hat and say, okay, let me put these people at number 8. Like we really talk about this, right? Do we make mistakes? We do. We do. But we make way less than them other folks.
play. Thank God you and I are not from Georgia.
Oh my God. Yeah, if we was from Georgia, it'd be total
Oh man,
conspiracy. Oh, speaking of that, Jonah,
they
hold on. Hold on. Speaking of that, let me address one of the narratives that well, he wasn't my number one, but now he done jumped into my top 3 haters was putting on social media today. Let's go ahead and talk about the July 1st cutoff date, Jonah. Because I get sick and tired of people using the difference in cutoff date, the 30 days, whether if you're a July 31st or August 1st team compared to a July 1st team.
right.
If you think 30 days make a difference in somebody's performance, I have oceanfront property in Idaho that I got a great price on I want to sell you. This is the
Well, listen,
dumbest
Clay.
shit
Let me stop you
ever
there, Clay.
known
When
to
I was in
man for
high
you to even
school,
say.
I was actually 3 hours older than another dude. I was born 3 hours before him, and that made me a little bit faster. Telling you, bro.
This is the dumbest shit known to man. So I'm not going to go off your conspiracy theories. I'm not going to go off the narratives you're trying to push. I'm going to talk to you about cold, hard facts. Majority of all YNC champions from year 1 till now have been July 31st or August 1st teams. And I'm not talking about a little bit of majority, 70 percentile. We've never had more than 3 July 1st national champions in 1 year until this past season. So guys, stop
Rampage.
with stop with the narrative you're trying to push. Here's the real these are facts. The facts are you scared, man. You're just
Right,
scared. Come
right.
on with it.
From OG
You're
Ducks
scared.
to Rampage, all those boys, you know what I'm saying? Louisville, all those teams are
Hey,
all been
remember all them championships that the Dream Team won, and they was
yeah,
a July 31st league.
correct,
Remember all them championships that Reggie and RDU won, and they was always in the league, right?
correct.
Remember the championships that the OG Ducks won, and they were in leagues. Like, come on,
OC
man, y'all need to
Buckeyes. OC
come on with the come on,
Buckeyes,
Buckeye, come on with the come
Vegas
on, man.
Strong.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop it.
So it started off with a big chance, Fort Lauderdale Hurricanes. So what you call it? And what's the name of the team? Lauderdale Lions. So yeah, absolutely, man. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate y'all locking in with week 1. It may not be what you wanted this week, but listen, you got a long season ahead of you, and we'll be opening up to the top 15 teams in the country. You lock in with us every Thursday at 10 p.m. We catch some good football. And here's the best thing about the rankings. Y'all have an opportunity to change them this week. Go out there, play some football, ball out. Make sure y'all check in with us. Let us know your game so we're on top of it. And, man, listen, we look forward to seeing y'all logo and y'all names being up there so you can go ahead and shine and pop y'all collars too. Until then, we're a week closer to the YNC Championship, December 4th through the 10th. As you get ready to get the key to the city, We ready to turn up to the city, man. As always, I'm Jonah Willard, my partner in crime, Clayton Guillory, and behind the ones and two, my man, Alfred Goodlow, the master of disaster here, man, at Football Uncut. Same place, same time, next week. Get your keys up, get your game up. Jonah Willard, Clayton Guillory on the scene. We'll see you here next week, next same time.